Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about something that will transform your life, something that will reshape the way you see yourself, your struggles, and the people around you. I'm talking about mercy, not just any mercy, but the mercy of a father who sees beyond your mistakes, beyond your pain, and beyond the labels this world tries to pin on you. The Father of mercy is not like any figure you've ever known. His mercy isn't limited by your past. It isn't bound by what others say about you. His mercy is infinite, unshakable, and unrelenting. When you think you've reached the end of grace, he says, my child, I'm just getting started. That mercy is not something that can be earned. It is freely given. It is an attribute that reflects a deep, compassionate heart, one that is willing to look beyond faults, shortcomings, and failures. Mercy is not about giving someone what they deserve, but rather what they need. In a world that often operates on merit, where rewards are handed out based on performance and success, mercy stands as a radical divine gift. It steps into the space of our flaws and imperfections, offering us something we could never buy or achieve on our own. It is a reflection of the divine nature, one that offers us grace and forgiveness when we least expect it, and when we feel we don't deserve it. This is the essence of mercy. It is unearned, unmerited, and unconditional. It goes against the grain of human nature that demands justice, that seeks recompense for wrongs, and that measures worth by productivity and achievement. In the simplest terms, mercy is kindness in the face of wrong. It's a choice to show compassion even when the rules might say that punishment is due. It is the act of extending love to someone when they have done nothing to deserve it, and possibly have done things to make them unworthy in the eyes of others. Mercy tells us that despite what we've done, despite the mistakes we've made, there is still hope. There is still a chance for restoration. It is the soft hand of grace that reaches out when we have nothing to offer in return. The beauty of mercy lies in its selflessness, in the fact that it is not dependent on the recipient's worth, but on the giver's character. Mercy isn't just a one-time action either. It's not a momentary decision like a one-time donation or a random act of kindness. Mercy is a continual flowing essence that shapes relationships and defines character. It's a lifestyle, a way of being that transforms not just the person receiving it, but the one giving it. It opens hearts, softens wounds, and builds bridges where there once were walls. Where judgment creates distance, mercy creates intimacy. Where condemnation leaves no room for change, mercy leaves space for growth. This is why mercy is so powerful. It holds the potential to break cycles of pain, to heal broken relationships, and to reconcile the seemingly irreconcilable. The power of mercy lies in its ability to change the trajectory of someone's life. We've all been at a point where we felt like we had failed too many times, hurt someone too deeply, or gone too far down the wrong path. But mercy steps in and declares that failure is not final, and neither is it defining. Mercy takes you from your lowest point and calls you to rise, not because you deserve it, but because mercy sees beyond the mistakes and into the possibility. Mercy gives you the chance to rewrite your story. It doesn't just forgive what you've done, it sees the potential for who you can become. Mercy looks at you not as a product of your past, but as a child of the Creator with a future full of promise. It's in mercy that we find the grace to move forward, to try again, and to not be defined by the labels the world has placed on us. Moreover, mercy speaks louder than words. It isn't just something you say, it's something you do. It's active, it's tangible, it requires action, it calls for empathy, and it demands that you walk alongside someone, regardless of where they've been. It's in the act of showing mercy that we demonstrate what true love looks like. Words can often be empty, but mercy is never empty. It's a message without words, a demonstration of kindness that goes beyond explanation. It's a living testament that we don't have to be perfect, that our mistakes don't define us, and we are worthy of love, compassion, and forgiveness, even when we don't believe it ourselves. In every act of mercy, there is a deeper truth that comes to light. Mercy is divine. It is a reflection of the heart of God, who looks at his people and offers them grace upon grace despite their flaws. And when we choose to live in mercy, we become conduits of that divine nature. We become vessels through which this powerful transformative force can flow into the lives of others. Mercy is the key that opens doors, the balm that heals wounds, and the love that never runs out. It is a gift that once received can never be forgotten because it has the power to change everything. A father's love is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It's a love that is rooted in deep care, boundless commitment, and the desire to see his children thrive. The love of a father doesn't come with conditions, but with an unwavering promise to protect, guide, and support. It's a love that sacrifices, a love that endures, and a love that believes in the potential of his children, even when they don't believe in themselves. The Father of mercy exemplifies this type of love, unconditional, fierce, and tender. This love is not based on performance, nor is it dependent on whether or not the child has earned it. It is a love that simply exists, a love that is given freely regardless of the circumstances. A father's love sees beyond the faults and failures of his children. It looks at them and sees not just what they've done, but who they are becoming, and who they are meant to be. A father doesn't hold his children's mistakes against them, nor does he measure them by the standards of the world. He knows that his role is not to judge or condemn, but to guide, protect, and above all, love. A father's love is the foundation upon which his children can grow, learn, and find their place in the world. This kind of love has the power to transform, to heal, and to restore. It's a love that says, you may have fallen, but I am here to help you rise again. It doesn't stand in the way of mistakes or challenges, rather, it offers a safe space for growth and redemption. The essence of a father's love is reflected in his willingness to always be there for his children, even in their worst moments. When the world may turn its back, when others may walk away in disappointment, a father's love stands firm. It never gives up, never runs dry, and never abandons. This love isn't shaken by the storms of life, nor is it influenced by the opinions of others. It is a steady, reliable source of support that speaks to the heart of the child, offering them reassurance and stability. Even when his children falter, a father's love remains steadfast, always ready to help them find their way back, always ready to restore the bond that may have been broken. One of the most remarkable qualities of a father's love is his ability to forgive. A father's love doesn't hold grudges, it doesn't keep a record of wrongs, it understands that everyone makes mistakes, and it recognizes that love is stronger than any offense. This is what makes a father's love so beautiful. It's not just a love that embraces in the good times, but also in the bad. It's a love that chooses to forgive, that chooses to let go of the hurt, and that chooses to move forward together. There is no condition too great, no mistake too deep for a father's love to overcome. This is the heart of the Father of mercy, the ability to forgive completely, to restore fully, and to continue loving without measure. A father's love is not just about correction or discipline. While it is true that a father is called to guide and teach, his love goes far beyond that. It is a love that encourages, uplifts, and inspires. A father sees the potential in his children, even when they can't see it themselves. He speaks words of affirmation, instills confidence, and provides the encouragement needed to keep going. A father knows that there will be challenges, but he also knows that his children have the strength to overcome them. His love is a constant reminder that they are capable, they are valuable, and they are worthy of every opportunity that life has to offer. It's a love that doesn't just teach, but one that instills a sense of purpose and self-worth. This love is selfless. A father's love requires sacrifice. It requires him to put aside his own desires for the sake of his children, to give of himself so that they can have a better future. It's a love that is willing to endure hardship, to go the extra mile, to give everything for the sake of his children's well-being. A father's love doesn't count the cost, it simply gives. And it gives freely. It is a love that reflects the heart of the Father of mercy, a love that continually gives, that never seeks recognition, and that always puts others first. The Father of mercy exemplifies this perfect loved one that sees beyond faults, forgives freely, and sacrifices willingly. His love is not based on what we can do or how we perform. It is based on his nature, his desire to see us restored, healed, and whole. And just as a father's love is unconditional and unwavering, so too is the love of the Father of mercy. It is a love that will never fail us, a love that is always present, always ready to guide, forgive, and restore. This love transforms lives, builds futures, and inspires hearts to believe in something greater than themselves. When we encounter the Father's love, we encounter the true essence of mercy. Mercy is a force of transformation. It is not just a passive act of kindness or a simple pardon. It is something far deeper, something that has the power to restore, to heal, and to rebuild. When mercy enters into a broken situation, it changes the trajectory of everything involved. Mercy does not simply overlook the wrongs that have been done, but rather it offers a path to recovery, a chance for renewal, and a promise of healing. It reaches deep into the wounds of the heart and soul, taking what was once fractured and restoring it to something whole. It's like a balm that soothes the pain, a light that chases away the darkness, and a force that redeems what was once lost. When mercy is at work, nothing remains the same. It is a transformative, life-altering power. To be restored is to be brought back to a place of wholeness. When we experience mercy, we are not left as we were. We are not just forgiven, but we are given an opportunity to be made new. Mercy transforms us from the inside out, taking the scars of our past and turning them into something beautiful. Just as a broken vase can be mended to form a new piece of art, so too can mercy take what was shattered and create something greater from it. Mercy sees potential where there once was hopelessness. It does not ignore the damage or the pain, but it provides the tools for healing, the space for growth, and the love necessary for complete restoration. This is why mercy is so powerful. It does not just pardon our past, it makes room for a new future. It gives us the courage to move forward with strength and hope, knowing that the past does not define us and that we are not bound by our failures. Mercy is not a simple get-out-of-jail-free card that allows us to avoid consequences. Rather, it is the invitation to begin again. It acknowledges that while we may have fallen, we are not condemned to stay down. Mercy extends an opportunity for renewal, for a fresh start, for the chance to rise above our mistakes. It doesn't simply clear the slate, it equips us with the wisdom, the strength, and the grace needed to rebuild. The beauty of mercy is that it is not blind to the pain we have caused or to the hurt we have endured, but it offers us a way forward. Mercy speaks to the heart of who we are and who we can become. It's an invitation to not be bound by our past, but to walk in the freedom of grace. This freedom allows us to heal fully without fear, knowing that we are not defined by our past mistakes, but by the love and mercy that offers us a new beginning. In relationships, mercy plays a vital role in healing broken connections. When trust is shattered, when wounds are inflicted, mercy becomes the glue that holds things together. Mercy provides a safe space for reconciliation, for rebuilding what was once torn apart. It offers the strength to forgive, to let go of resentment, and to move forward with love. Relationships often face moments of conflict, misunderstanding, and hurt. But it is through mercy that these wounds can be healed, trust can be restored, and the bond can be renewed. Mercy allows us to see beyond the hurt, beyond the anger, and to remember the love that once existed. It gives us the ability to not just forgive, but to embrace the possibility of healing and reconciliation. Where justice might demand separation or punishment, mercy creates a path for unity and understanding. Mercy also plays a crucial role in healing personal wounds, the hurts that we carry inside, the scars that others may never see. We all have areas of our lives that have been marked by pain, whether it be from past mistakes, broken relationships, or personal struggles. Mercy steps into these places of hurt, offering us the comfort and healing we need to move forward. It gives us permission to release the burden of guilt, shame, and regret, and to accept the healing that is available to us. When mercy touches our hearts, it removes the weight of the past and replaces it with the lightness of grace. It teaches us to forgive ourselves, to embrace the love and acceptance that has been extended to us, and to walk forward with confidence that we are worthy of healing. Mercy is not just a one-time act. It is a continual process of healing, growth, and transformation. When mercy is at work, it doesn't just heal the wounds of today, it transforms the way we see ourselves, our relationships, and our family. It teaches us to be more compassionate, more understanding, and more willing to extend grace to others. It encourages us to practice forgiveness, not just for the sake of others, but for our own peace of mind and emotional well-being. Mercy helps us to release bitterness and resentment, freeing our hearts to experience true peace and joy. It's a process that involves both receiving and giving, because when we experience mercy, we are called to share it with others. Ultimately, mercy restores not just individuals, but entire communities, nations, and relationships. It has the power to change hearts and minds, to break cycles of pain, and to bring people together. It is the healing balm that we all need, the grace that sustains us through the darkest times, and the love that restores what was once lost. When we embrace mercy, we open the door to a new life, one that is filled with hope, healing, and restoration. This is the power of mercy. It takes what was broken, heals it, and makes it whole again. True strength is often misunderstood. In a world that equates power with dominance, aggression, and control, there is a different kind of strength that many overlook, the strength found in gentleness. Gentleness does not imply weakness. In fact, it is a deeper form of strength, one that is rooted in understanding, empathy, and the ability to wield power with wisdom and restraint. When mercy enters the picture, it is gentle. It does not force its way in, but instead quietly offers the invitation for healing, forgiveness, and renewal. Mercy extends itself with a softness that disarms the hardness of our hearts. It chooses kindness over condemnation, patience over judgment, and understanding over anger. The gentle nature of mercy does not make it less powerful, it makes it more profound. There is a deep strength in mercy because it requires a choice to remain calm in the face of injustice, to extend grace when everything within us might cry out for revenge or retribution. Mercy does not react impulsively or out of emotion. It is the decision to pause, to breathe, and to respond with love, even when the world demands something else. This is the kind of strength that doesn't raise its voice to be heard, but stands firm in its purpose to heal and restore. Gentleness does not back down from difficult situations or painful truths. Rather, it is the quiet force that holds space for vulnerability, for change, and for growth. This type of strength is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand that true power comes from the ability to choose peace in the midst of chaos, to offer grace when it seems undeserved, and to extend mercy even when it costs us something. When we think of mercy, we often imagine it as something passive, a quiet acceptance of wrongdoing. But mercy is actually quite active. It is a powerful choice, one that requires immense strength. To show mercy to someone who has hurt you or disappointed you is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of inner strength and self-control. It takes far more strength to forgive than to hold a grudge. It requires more courage to offer a second chance than to walk away in anger. Mercy moves with the kind of authority that doesn't need to shout to be heard. It transforms from the inside out, softening the hardest of hearts and making space for restoration. True strength is not the loud, forceful assertion of our will, but the quiet determination to love and forgive, to heal and restore no matter the cost. It is strength that rises above bitterness, anger, and resentment, choosing instead to extend the hand of peace. There is also great power in mercy because it is not based on what is deserved, but on what is needed. The world operates on the idea that we should get what we deserve, that wrongs must be paid for, and that those who have harmed us must suffer the consequences. But mercy steps into this equation and flips it upside down. Mercy does not focus on what someone has done to us, but on what they need. It refuses to reduce people to their mistakes, but instead sees them as human beings worthy of compassion and understanding. Mercy is a strength that says, you may not deserve my forgiveness, but I choose to give it to you anyway. It is a strength that chooses love in the face of hatred, patience in the face of impatience, and kindness in the face of cruelty. This kind of strength is not about being passive or weak, but about being resolute and choosing the higher path, one that sees the person and their potential rather than their past mistakes. Mercy is also the strength to protect the vulnerable, to lift up those who are struggling, and to come alongside those who are hurting. There is a quiet but profound power in standing with those who are downtrodden, in offering a safe space for those who have been broken by life's circumstances. Gentleness doesn't just excuse wrongdoing, it recognizes pain and offers solace. It steps into the spaces where others might walk away, choosing to love even in the midst of suffering. Mercy does not ignore injustice, but it chooses to address it with compassion and understanding. It says, I see you, I understand, I am here to help. This is not weakness. This is the strength to endure, to persevere, and to continue offering love, even when it's difficult. It is the strength to believe that every person, no matter how far they've fallen, is worthy of grace and redemption. Moreover, the gentleness of mercy creates space for transformation. When people experience mercy, they are given room to grow, to change, and to heal. It does not punish or shame them for their past mistakes, but rather calls them forward into something better. Mercy offers the opportunity to start again, to let go of guilt and shame, and to embrace a new identity. The strength in mercy is seen in its ability to look past the surface, to see the brokenness, and to believe that change is possible. Mercy is the quiet voice that says, you can do better, you can be better. And I will walk with you as you do. It is the gentle but unwavering force that lifts up, rebuilds, and renews. It is a strength that believes in the inherent worth of every person and is willing to help them reach their full potential. This gentleness is not a passive strength, but an active, life-giving force. It may seem soft, but its impact is anything but weak. The power of mercy lies in its ability to transform hearts, heal wounds, and build bridges. It is the strength to choose love over hate, understanding over judgment, and peace over conflict. It is the strength that never backs down in the face of hardship, but continues to extend grace and compassion, even when the world around us demands something else. This is the true power of mercy. It is gentle, but it is unyielding in its ability to restore, heal, and transform. Mercy is not a concept that can be fully understood through words alone. It is something that must be experienced. It is not just a feeling or an abstract idea. It is a living, breathing force that moves and acts in the world. True mercy cannot be confined to a moment or an isolated act. It is a continual transformative presence that flows through every interaction, shaping the way we view ourselves, others, and the world around us. When we experience mercy, we do not simply acknowledge that we have been forgiven or pardoned. We feel the weight of grace lifting from our shoulders, and in that moment, something in us begins to change. Mercy reaches deep into our hearts, bringing healing to the brokenness, hope to the despairing, and peace to the restless. It is a gift that, once received, changes everything. When we experience mercy, it is not just our circumstances that are altered, but our very identity. Mercy allows us to let go of the labels that others have placed upon us or that we have placed upon ourselves. It removes the weight of guilt, shame, and self-condemnation that so often hold us captive. We no longer see ourselves as defined by our mistakes or failures, but as beings worthy of love, forgiveness, and grace. Mercy speaks to our deepest need for acceptance. And it tells us that no matter what we have done or how far we have fallen, there is still hope. We are not condemned by our past, but invited into a future full of possibility. Mercy tells us that our identity is not shaped by our errors, but by the love that surrounds us, a love that sees us as valuable, worthy, and whole. To experience mercy is to come face to face with the divine nature of compassion. It is to encounter something far beyond our understanding, something that goes beyond the surface and reaches into the very core of who we are. Mercy is not transactional. It does not say, you owe me. It does not require us to prove ourselves worthy. Instead, mercy is a gift freely given, regardless of what we have earned or what we deserve. It is unconditional, unearned, and immeasurable. And in receiving it, we find ourselves filled with gratitude, humility, and awe. There is a beauty in mercy that cannot be fully described, a power that transcends our comprehension. It is an outpouring of love and grace that asks for nothing in return, but changes us nonetheless. Moreover, we're experiencing mercy transforms our relationships. When we experience mercy in our own lives, we are able to extend it to others. The grace that we have received opens our hearts to be more understanding, more compassionate, and more forgiving toward those around us. Mercy breaks down barriers and creates space for connection. It dissolves the walls of anger, resentment, and pride that often separate us from one another. When we choose to show mercy, we choose to see the humanity in others, to understand their struggles, and to offer them the same grace that has been extended to us. Mercy frees us from the chains of judgment, allowing us to approach others with kindness, empathy, and an open heart. It gives us the strength to forgive, the courage to heal, and the wisdom to restore broken relationships. There is a ripple effect in mercy. When we experience mercy, we do not just keep it to ourselves, it spreads, it is contagious, and it has the power to change not only individuals, but entire communities. When we receive mercy, we become vessels through which it can flow to others, and in doing so, we create a cycle of love and grace that can transform the world. Mercy doesn't stop with us, it overflows into every area of our lives, touching the lives of those around us. It builds bridges where there were once walls, heals wounds where there was once pain, and brings peace where there was once division. The impact of mercy is far-reaching and deeply profound. It is not something we give simply because we are asked to, but because we have been so profoundly changed by it that we cannot help but pass it on. This experience of mercy is not just a one-time event, it is an ongoing process. As we continue to receive mercy, we grow in our ability to offer it. Each act of mercy received becomes a foundation upon which we can build a life of compassion, understanding, and grace. The more we experience mercy, the more we are able to extend it to others. Mercy transforms us at a fundamental level, reshaping our character and our capacity to love. It takes us from being recipients of grace to being agents of grace, sharing the love we have received with others in meaningful, powerful ways. In a world that often emphasizes performance, achievement, and retribution, mercy offers a radical alternative. It does not measure us by what we can accomplish or how well we adhere to societal standards. Instead, mercy measures us by the love and grace we extend to others. It challenges us to love not just when it is easy, but especially when it is difficult. It calls us to forgive, to heal, and to restore, even when the world says it's not deserved. It invites us to participate in something greater than ourselves, to become instruments of change, healing, and reconciliation. Mercy is the language of the heart, the voice of compassion, and the bridge to a future filled with hope, peace, and love. Ultimately, experiencing mercy is a transformative journey. It is an encounter with the divine love that reshapes our hearts, minds, and relationships. It gives us the ability to heal, to forgive, to restore, and to build something beautiful where once there was brokenness. Mercy changes everything. It changes the way we see ourselves, the way we see others, and the way we engage with the world around us. It takes us from brokenness to wholeness, from despair to hope, and from division to unity. The experience of mercy is a gift that never stops giving, one that continues to transform lives, one act of kindness, one moment of grace at a time. The essence of mercy is not just in what it does, but in the way it changes our perspective. It transforms our outlook on the world, reshaping how we see both ourselves and others. When we receive mercy, it gives us a new lens through which we view life. Instead of seeing people through the narrow lens of their actions or mistakes, mercy invites us to see them through the eyes of understanding, compassion, and love. Mercy calls us to look deeper, to see the humanity behind the actions, and to understand that everyone has a story, a struggle, and a reason for what they do. It helps us realize that every person is more than the sum of their past mistakes or current faults. We all are in need of mercy, and it is in recognizing our own need for mercy that we are able to extend it to others. Mercy brings a shift in how we judge the world. It opens up the possibility of grace where there once was only judgment. The world teaches us to categorize people based on their actions, labeling them as good or bad, worthy or unworthy, deserving or undeserving. But mercy challenges this binary view. It calls us to rise above these judgments and to see people not for the wrongs they have done, but for the potential for change, growth, and healing that lies within them. Through mercy, we begin to understand that no one is beyond redemption and that forgiveness is the first step towards transformation. Mercy allows us to see the best in others, even when their actions might not reflect that best. It asks us to look beyond the surface and to be more than just observers of behavior. Instead, we become active participants in the process of healing, seeing each person as a work in progress, deserving of compassion and a chance to grow. Moreover, mercy helps us to see ourselves differently. We often carry burdens of guilt, shame, and regret, weighing ourselves down with the mistakes of our past. We become trapped in the narrative of who we once were, unable to move forward because we feel unworthy of forgiveness or stuck in a cycle of self-condemnation. But mercy invites us to let go of that burden. It reminds us that our past does not define us and that no matter how far we have fallen, there is always a path forward. Mercy helps us to see ourselves not as failures, but as individuals capable of change, growth, and redemption. It teaches us that forgiveness is not just for others, but for ourselves as well. It frees us from the prison of our past mistakes and gives us the courage to step into a future full of pastel. Through mercy, we are able to see the potential within us, to embrace our imperfections, and to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose and hope. The transformative power of mercy also shifts how we approach life's challenges. In a world that often demands perfection and punishes mistakes, mercy encourages us to see the beauty in imperfection. It reminds us that we are all on a journey and that the road to healing and growth is often messy. We do not have to be perfect to be worthy of love, respect, or grace. Mercy invites us to embrace the process of becoming rather than focusing on the end result. It teaches us that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities for growth. It shifts our focus from what we lack or what we've done wrong to what we can learn and how we can improve. Mercy gives us the courage to try again, to start over, and to keep moving forward, even when the path seems difficult or uncertain. It reminds us that it is not our failures that define us, but our ability to rise again after we've fallen. This shift in perspective also affects the way we interact with others. Mercy teaches us that no one is perfect and that we all have flaws, struggles, and imperfections. Instead of holding others to unrealistic standards or judging them based on their mistakes, mercy allows us to be more understanding, compassionate, and forgiving. It reminds us that we are all in this together, Each one of us carrying our own burdens, facing our own challenges, and making our own mistakes. Mercy helps us to extend grace to others, just as we have received grace ourselves. It encourages us to be patient, kind, and empathetic, recognizing that everyone is fighting their own battles. When we see the world through the lens of mercy, we begin to approach others with a heart full of compassion, ready to lift them up, to support them, and to offer forgiveness when needed. Furthermore, mercy creates a culture of restoration and reconciliation. It does not seek to divide or condemn, but to heal and unite in relationships. Mercy is the glue that holds things together, even when trust has been broken and wounds have been inflicted. It helps us to see beyond the hurt, to choose forgiveness, and to work toward rebuilding what was lost. Mercy does not ignore the pain or pretend that it didn't happen, but it offers a way forward, a path to healing and reconciliation. When mercy is present in our relationships, it changes everything. It allows us to rebuild trust, to restore broken connections, and to create stronger bonds that are built on understanding, forgiveness, and love. It gives us the strength to move past the pain and to work toward a future where healing and restoration can take place. Finally, mercy changes not just how we see the world, but how we move through it. It allows us to navigate life's challenges with a heart full of grace and a spirit full of forgiveness. It teaches us to approach every situation with empathy, understanding that everyone has their own struggles and difficulties. It calls us to be more patient, more kind, and more compassionate in our interactions with others. It helps us to let go of anger, bitterness, and resentment, replacing them with peace, love, and understanding. Mercy opens our eyes to the beauty of second chances, the possibility of transformation, and the power of forgiveness. When we embrace mercy, we embrace a new way of living, one that is centered on grace, compassion, and love. In the end, the way we see the world is shaped by the mercy we receive and extend. It transforms not just how we view others, but how we view ourselves and our place in the world. Mercy changes everything. It shifts our perspective, heals our wounds, and opens our hearts. Through mercy, we are able to see the potential in others and in ourselves, to forgive, to restore, and to build a world filled with love, understanding, and grace. In conclusion, mercy is the force that binds us together, the transformative power that reshapes our hearts, minds, and relationships. It is not merely a concept, but a living, breathing reality that, when embraced, changes everything. Mercy allows us to see beyond mistakes and failures, offering a fresh perspective that focuses on potential growth and redemption. It teaches us that no one is defined by their past, and that forgiveness, grace, and love have the power to heal the deepest wounds. As we experience mercy, we begin to see the world differently, not through the lens of judgment, but with eyes full of compassion and understanding. It frees us from the burden of resentment, anger, and shame, giving us the strength to move forward with hope and purpose. Mercy doesn't just transform us individually, but ripples out, touching those around us, creating a culture of kindness, empathy, and reconciliation. When we choose mercy, we choose healing over harm, love over hate, and peace over conflict. It is not a passive act, but a powerful decision that requires strength, humility, and courage. In a world often defined by division, mercy is the bridge that unites us. It challenges us to go beyond what is deserved and to offer what is needed: grace, forgiveness, and compassion. So let mercy reign in your heart and life. Let it be the force that guides your decisions, shapes your relationships, and empowers you to build a better world. In the end, it is mercy that truly makes us whole, that restores and restores broken, and that leads us toward the highest expression of love. Mercy is not just something we receive, but something we must extend to others. In doing so, we become instruments of transformation, ambassadors of grace, and carriers of the hope that mercy brings. Mercy is not simply a choice, it is a transformative force that shapes who we are and how we engage with the world. It challenges our perceptions, reshapes our interactions, and calls us to rise above the pain and bitterness that so often cloud our lives. In every moment, mercy calls us to choose grace over judgment, understanding over condemnation, and love over resentment. When we experience mercy, it changes everything. It frees us from the chains of guilt and shame, offering us a new way forward, one filled with hope, forgiveness, and transformation. As we extend mercy to others, we become agents of change. We build bridges, heal wounds, and restore relationships. Mercy does not demand perfection or expect others to meet a standard. It sees beyond the mistakes, embracing the humanity within. It is a reminder that we all fall short and we all need grace. Through mercy, we offer a second chance, not only to others, but also to ourselves. We release the burden of judgment, allowing healing to take place where hurt once resided. Mercy is not about what we deserve, but about what is needed. It transcends the limits of fairness and steps into the realm of compassion. It empowers us to look beyond the surface and see the deeper need for understanding and restoration. It asks us to forgive not because it is easy, but because it is necessary for our own freedom and for the healing of those around us. In a world that often thrives on division, mercy is the antidote. It is the force that unites, that breaks down walls, and that brings people together in love and understanding. It is the gentle strength that holds space for transformation, for growth in the earth, and for healing. When we embody mercy, we become living examples of its power, touching lives in ways we may never fully understand. The call to mercy is clear: to embrace it, to live it, and to share it. It is a call to choose love even when it's difficult, to offer grace even when it's not deserved, and to stand firm in the belief that everyone, no matter their past, deserves a chance at redemption. Let mercy be the foundation of your heart, the guide in your relationships, and the light that leads you through life. For in mercy we find healing, peace, and the true strength to overcome the challenges that come our way. No excuses, no reservations, just mercy. The world is waiting for it, and we are the ones called to give it. Mercy is not just a gift we receive, it's the gift we are meant to share. And in doing so, we become the change we seek.